Wanted to get a recording of all the questions because this is the famous question right here, and I believe. Okay. Anyway, Hansen gives. Here's the thing. It came from Sam Pendleton, but Hansen says Dark Falls 79, but it looks like it was Pendleton who posted the question. Chris, an unusual request. Please bear with me. Look at the camera. Say, "Oh, Cawd," and then he scrolls down here and says, "Oh, it's the phonetic spelling. Oh, Cawd." And then he scrolls down here, and then this is where he sees the thing. He goes, "Oh God, Chris, please do a final Predator Raw featuring the guys of Kentucky, especially our Lorne." And that's when he says, "Somebody's really into the Lorne from Kentucky," and that's when he, just ends it there. Pretty much the last. That's the last question. But anyway, let's. So these are some of the questions he was looking at. Uh, Church of God, Base Shaman, getting it out there. Uh, if I got caught on your show, can I get a free shirt? Oh man, he should have read that one. Okay. I see. I don't know why he mentioned Dark Falls when here it is, or it's down here. An unusual request, because he clearly says all that. So anyway, we're gonna get all these. These are famous. These need to be recorded here. Just get them all. Oh man, there's quite a few. Great Q&A. Don't answer any more questions. Just say, "Oh God." I think he mentioned that too. Uh, God, so many Lorne Armstrongs. I think somebody mentioned that. See, these were the questions he was reading off of. And it was tricky. You had to come to this page, then you had to hit this thing, then hit questions. I don't even know how you post a question, you know, but whatever. But they were, man, they were relentless, man. They were relentless. They, Chris, oh God. What you just said has made my day. Uh, Ken Lorne star in your new show. John Pierre Wary. Come on. That's when Chris talks about like the drama and stuff. It's like oof. Chris got a dose of the weirdness. Additional footage. So many Lorne questions. Oh please, just say "Oh God." It'll take 2 seconds. They were terrorizing him. They were terrorizing him. Before you end the live stream, please give us a shout out and say "Oh God." Oh man, what was Hamburger doing that got censored? Last investigation. Oh, that's a good question right there. Oh, did Rolando? So I think that's where it got twisted into the bribery. But I like see. This is Rabbi David K. I like sucking and being sucked. I like to kiss. Oh wow, more Lorne Armstrong. Who was the guy with the last chat log you ever see? Yeah, I'm trying to get a Lauren question. Oh, Netflix, Epidemic Paris. Okay, I remember that question. I gotta get this whole video, man. My stupid Camtasia crashed. Oh, Stinson Hunter. I'll have to check him out. Stinson Hunter. Oh, hey, Chris. Remember Can I Rape You Anally? He was the worst potential predator you've seen. Yeah, Chris wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. No, man. The majority of us are only interested in Lorne Armstrong. Please tell us you have the full story. Who ate the pizza that the guy left on the beach? What do you think of the celebrity status Lorne Armstrong has garnered from the YouTube community? The unaired raw footage, as you know. Starting, I think that question got asked. Big OK fan. The footage of Lorne Armstrong so much. If he goes back and looks at these questions, he's gonna just be like, "What the hell?" Do you have any words of advice for a Predator feature show that is hypothetically watching your live broadcast? Oh my God, he said, "Oh God." Wow. Chris, I saw a guy with over 400 pages in To Catch a Predator. Do you remember about him? They're still trying to get him for the Lorne Armstrong. Oh, wow. They just kept hounding him with these Lorne Armstrong questions. No wonder he kept going to the backers questions. And it seems like the backers questions were lame. I'm a little confused. Why hasn't basically seems to catch for will be viewed on online backers? Or are you gonna file through them and try? I don't know if that got answered. Will you please say "Oh Cawd," you're my precious little baby girl? Please say "Oh Cawd" before you sign off, please. Oh, did you actually call the predators that wanted to see if they made it on television? Did Frag eat all the food the predators brought to the stand? Jean Pierre Wary ended up getting 50 years in prison instead of 24, by the way. He went to get his case appealed, and there was a clerical error with the court and got 50 years instead. Holy cow, Jean Pierre. Team JPW, man. Why did Frag never stand up? He was always seated, yes. Why was that question never asked? Aw. What happened to Lee Greer, the guy who brought the double cheeseburgers, no pickles, and gold french fries? Oh, Lord. Oh, that's a good question. Lorne Armstrong was unique in that he was actually in love with the decoy. Can you please elaborate on your account? Man, they're just hitting him for the Lorne Armstrong questions. Oh, what happened to the perishables the predators brought with them? Who ate the pizzas? Poop Feast 420. That's okay. He mentions that guy's name. Poop Feast 420. Okay, I think he answered that question. With the new investigation, we have decoys on scene to talk to the predators before you step in. I think he answered that one. Did any of the gay guys come on to you? Hello, how are we doing? Can I tease and please your blank with my tongue? Come on, why would you post that? It's Chris. Oh, here's a good question. Have you watched any of the parody videos that people post on YouTube of some of the predators? If so, what do you think of them? That's a good question. What work are you proud of other than to catch a predator? Were the pastries that were put out actually home baked or store bought? Good one. Yeah. Were those cookies home baked? No, they were not. Guarantee you that. I've got the still life. They were Chips Ahoy. Whoever's moderating these questions, make Chris say, "Oh God." The cult of God. Chris, could you contact Lorne Armstrong and do a follow up of him? You want to do it raw? Poor Chris. Look at his face. He's being he's like sifting through this. He's like, what? You want do it raw? What's that? No rubber. Spelt with one B. Oh, Chris. What were you thinking about the one guy from New Jersey when he suddenly passed out and crashed into the table? Okay. We apologize if all our Lorne questions made you uncomfortable. We love you. Good luck with the show, Chris. Can't wait to see it. Oh, I think I guess that's who posted the question, right? Is the one, yeah, who's attached to it. That's like a nice statement. That's pretty cool sentiment. Covered any story of time, what would it be? Can you please say "Oh God" before you log off? Thank you. We'd all appreciate it. Uh, yeah, I think it was probably around $150,000, $200,000 at minimum, minimum. Because you think 100 grand for perverted justice, and then the rest of that, more than that on top, plus Chris's salary. Please. Chris doesn't like Lorne fame. Sucking like a gentleman. Are you going to do locations beyond Decoy House? He answered that question. Chris, remember the one guy who pulled out the letter to read and spoke of the girl whose meeting? I say he's only intended to befriend her. What did you think about him? How you find new decoys? I think he asked that. Or answered that. Okay, does he mean John Oliver, the comedian? Bay Shaman, tell me you got that Cawd from Chris Hansen. Would you ever go international with the new investigations? Wow, nice one. Yeah, they'll probably have to tell you the truth. Could you also say, here's 46-year-old Anthony Palumbo, and he's brought a gift. We should chat for more than 100 pages. Could you chat with him or stop because it's too long? Who was the guy with the longest chat log? Yeah, see, trying to get another Lorne question out of him. Were you somewhere when you sat down next to the giant bodybuilder? I noticed the cops weren't so gung ho with him. True, so true. They were like almost apologetic with him. Who do you feel most sorry for? That's a good question. Did you ever have some of the iced tea and cookies while waiting for predators? That's a good question. Oh, God. Chris, is there ever a guy with over 300 pages of chat logs in your previous series? Yeah, a guy named Lorne Armstrong. The hangout ends at 7:30 Eastern Time, so he's not going to take any more questions. What did you think of the South Park episode? He answered that. Please say, oh, Cawd, Caitlin, come to the rap party. I was preyed on chat rooms. Blah, 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 blah. Chris, big fan, just back because other than the rabbi, contact you. That's a good question. What's the current timeline for beginning the new broadcast and investigation broadcast? That's a good question. I don't think that got answered. Do you remember the man that screamed after he was tased and ran towards you? Uh, as the show went on and grew in popularity, did fans showing up at the houses to sightsee, or even the predators saying they came because they knew it was the show? That's a good question. Ever seen the Boondocks parody? He probably hasn't. Chris, do you think the series became so... Why do you think... Okay, I think he answered that. Would you be playing a decoy this time? Okay, yeah. I believe you're of the hardcore to catch for a fan. Who is the only one that happened to be featured on the show. That's... Get us all involved too. I don't know who that's to. Hey Chris, you ever been recognized or encountered publicly? Funny, creepy, or violent? How did it go? Huh. How did you find the house? Did the owners get paid? Yeah, they rented them. They rented it. Would you consider setting up a web page, Wall of Shame, with all the printers? Perverted Justice already does that. Remember Anthony Palumbo? He's the guy who repeatedly asked the decoy to put that in the refrigerator. He talked about that. Would NBC do it? Probably not. Craziest thing to happen? I think so. I think you mentioned that. Again, another Lorne question. Hey, Chris, who was the guy with the longest chat log you ever seen on To Catch a Predator? How about using a hologram of an underage individual when someone shows up at a location? Did you also think Jeff Stacy sounded like Mickey Mouse? Wow. Yeah, I could see where Chris is like, oh man, these people aren't taking this serious. Whatever happened to Gregory Stewart's Pineapple Supreme Pizza? He just came to get something to eat. Why do you think Predators said? That's an old question. Why didn't they put? Well, yeah, why didn't they put out a DVD box set? That would have been awesome. Why do you think so many predators never spend a day in jail? They spend time in jail. Remember when there were two predators in the same home back in New Jersey? Well, New Jersey and also Flagler Beach. God, Flagler Beach. Say that fast. Did you have any scary events as a child? Okay, he answered that question. Weird. Please say, oh God, Chris. Thank you so much. Speaking of empty pizza boxes, whatever happened to Gregory Stewart's Pineapple Supreme Pizza? That is bullshit. I've known a lot of female 30 up online games hit on 14-year-olds. Yeah, right. They're... I think Chris addressed this. They're actually 50-year-old dudes. try and bribe you to get out of trouble. You go back, rewatch, reminisce. Because protein. Okay, yeah, I remember him asking this question. It's kind of weird. What happened to Gregory Stewart's pineapple pizza again? Oh, poor Chris, man. Poor Chris. Hey, Chris, huge fan here. Have you ever encountered someone you knew prior to investigation as one of the potential predators? That's a pretty good one. Speaking of Jimmy Hoffa, are there any plans for a new investigation? Let us see out there with a shovel and foreign object detector. Ooh, did you feel sorry at all for Richard Briald? He was 19 at the time of the investigation. Nah, he didn't feel sorry for him. Or Justice only had decoys on straight and gay men. That's the main reason you never saw any females. No, they would have if they could have. Massachusetts, wonder why will they have any law enforcement involving next investigation? Of course. I'm no sadistic or anything, but seeing those sick people getting humiliated on national TV makes me laugh. Oh my god. Oh, poor Chris. Are you worried about internet predators becoming more virtual and less localized? How this may affect numbers willing to set up face-to-face meetings. I think he addressed that, where you don't even have to come to the house in certain states. So, I bet they're gonna be coming to people's places, man. Will any of the originals make a return, Chris? Would you say it's more common to find predators in social networking? Whatever happened to the rabbi? He mentions that. Can you give me any advice what department I might contact to obtain some of the raw footage? Sam Pendleton again. Oh God, imagine if Chris, like, look at Chris's face and he sees this. It's like, no. No, when you were so exasperated with excuses, you want to send them straight to prison. That's a good one. Oh, come on now. Come on. Chris, why did you cheat on your wife? 'Cause why do you think? Hey, Chris, we have decoys on scene to talk to the predators. Yeah, that's a good one. What, no hug for me? Please have a seat right there. What you doing here? When do you think the first investigation will be completed by? And when we be able to... That's a good question. I don't think that got answered. How are you going to choose the first location? That's a good question. He did talk about that, but they really can't say. Have you ever been given an excuse that you actually believed? Oh, this is the Poop Feast 420. Yeah. I don't get the naming, like the Poop Feast 420 here, but it says Steph D there. Excluding the expected, please don't show this communications. I'm trying to contact or appear on the show and discuss it with you. How do you plan to update the show? It's been almost 10 years, blah, blah, blah. I think he talked about that. Mentally unstable. Authored online predator construct called iPredator in 2010. In 2011, I know assailants here are considered. Profiles these assailants. Okay, he's looking for a job. How would you best describe the difference between an online boyfriend and a predator? Wow. Chris, what are some of your favorite bands? Okay, he answered that one. Rolling Stones. That's the Rolling Stones picture there. Chris, have you ever feared being assaulted? I think he mentioned that. Chris, you were the Del Harvey now works for the safety department. Yeah, he mentions that. Chris, like I said, he thinks any age is appropriate. Okay, so now we're in the beginning where I don't think there were too many Lorne questions yet. Okay. Funniest excuse. I think he mentioned something similar to that. Ever been assaulted? Either, I would say only Rabbi David K. and then Michael Willis, Bug-Eye Mike, when he tossed the cookie and you can hear the cookie thud and he says, you know what? I don't want this cookie. I'm just going to the beach. And then he just walks out. Mike Willis, Bug-Eye Mike. Got away with it too, man. Ugh. Jolanda. Huge fan. Did you know how big it would get? Nah, probably not. He's answered that question before. Have you ever been attacked? Obviously, Rabbi David K. and Michael Willis. What happened to the drinks, candies, and food? And okay. And then, wow, he didn't touch on the Murphy sting, but that's kind of, bad blood anyway. So it looks like Base Shaman might have had the last question in there. That's cool. So, wow. All right. Well, that concludes this little video documentary. Oh, well, let me get the comments here. Let's just see. Nah, there's too many. I'll just stick to the original ones that he did look at.